Now this is like, this is a little bit out there. But think about it. What if, when you actually have your awakening and you start to wake up to your true nature, what if that's when you actually become alive? Because anyone that's been through a real like transformation can tell you that there's a difference in the life experience. Like you literally change and your world changes, and it's almost like a brand new world, brand new life experience, right? Okay, so what if when you have that thing happen, that's actually when you enter the body? Everything else is a memory. It was put there. And what happens is you visit those memories because they live in your head, and it's you in those memories, right? And you go and experience it, and you might say, yeah, well, yeah, if I was there, this happened to me, you know? But can you actually dispute what I'm saying on any level? You really can't. So do you see how the serpent lures you into a low state of consciousness? This is just an example. Because the serpent is a story maker, yeah? It gives you the story. Now, what if, because we just attested that when you actually have your awakening, that's when you actually feel like, yup, okay, I know who I am, I know what I know my purpose, or I know, like, I'm learning about my true nature. You literally change. Everything changes. You look at the world totally different. Everything completely looks different now. Like the flowers look different, the sun looks different, the moon looks different, the sky looks different. Like the smells are different, nature looks different, the trees look greener, the grass looks greener, like people look different, your interactions with people are different, everything's different, right? Okay. So that means that everything else is just a memory, because it's not this version of you that experienced it. Like, this is consciousness, your consciousness now. Before, all of that could have just been a memory put in your head, a story. And when you believe it, you pull your swords and your weapons and you defend that story. By defending that story, you live in the state, that low consciousness state, because this happened, so therefore you have to do this, or you have to do da. But if you're a brand new person, which you are once you become conscious, then you can drop the story. You're a brand new person. I'm not minimizing anyone's experience. Listen to what I'm actually saying. Once you become consciously aware of what you are, who you are, you don't need to hold on to the story, bro, of anything. There is no past. We don't give a fuck about the past. What can we do about it? Absolutely zilch. So let's fuck it off. Let's just fuck it off. Doesn't matter what anyone did to you, whether it was your mom, your dad, your sister, your brother, your uncle, your blah, 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 blah. Whatever happened has happened. There's nothing we could do about it. Drop the fucking story. And think of it as if consciousness just zoomed into your body when you had your awakening, right? Everything else was in your animal state, which it was. You're not an animal. So those memories were put there by your animal state. So whichever way, I keep telling you, whichever way you slice the cake when it comes to the truth, it reads the same. It's a fractal. So you see what I just said? Whether you, from the beginning, your consciousness that's just jumped into your body when you're awakening or whatever happened, everything else was put into your head like a memory. It was hard to accept that. Now, you recognize who you are after the awakening. We've established that, blah, 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 blah. And you recognize that the older version of you is not this version of you, because this version is consciousness. That version wasn't. So again, that means that your animal state is what put those memories there, which is the serpent. Put those memories there, not you. So whatever they did, whatever life experiences happened, it happened to the animal side. It wasn't you. And now that you've woken up, or you're waking up, you have zero business acting like that ever again. Like, ever. Because you've experienced it now. You know what it's like. And you realize that it's actually kind of backward. So it will be literally backward for you to replay that on the screen to anybody. So drop all the stories, bro. Just assume, yeah, if you, whichever way you want to take whichever road you want to take is fine. Accept that consciousness entered, because this consciousness, this version that I'm talking to right now, the one that knows what's what, that's the real deal. That's the real you. That's the real deal. The other one's not really you. It's not you. It's you under illusion, which is not you. Because you're not living in reality. So therefore you're living as an animal. You're in your lower state. You're not in your high state. You can't be in a high state of consciousness and be in illusion. No matter if you believe in an illusion, somehow, some way, somewhat, it'll be because of something that is low consciousness about you in your thinking processes. Otherwise, you're literally present, like you're literally like step by step present. Like nothing else exists but my next footstep, and the next one, and the next one, and the next one. Like, yeah, bro. But yeah, man. So drop all the stories, bro. That shit don't matter, bro. Doesn't matter who did what. Let go. Don't defend those stories, because they weren't you anyway. Because if you defend those stories, then that means you're also going to defend the crimes that you did. You haven't got enough. It's not worth it. There's no point. There's no point fight. If you fight those fights, that means you're also going to defend those crimes, yeah? Which is long. Because the things you did in your animal state, if you're going to defend them, essentially that means you're asking to kind of like repeat the story and come and experience it all again, because you're defending it. And just by being like believing in the story of something that happened to you, and then you're gonna repay the person or seek revenge or do whatever, that's exactly what you're doing. That's also the Ouroboros, and you're gonna come back and you're gonna experience what that's like. It's literally fucking so simple, bro. I'm telling you. But if you drop the stories and you say, you know what, man, fuck it, it's cool, it's happened, there's nothing I can do about it anyway, life goes on. I know there are some certain situations that it feels like, but even then, certain situations, there's a story, bro. Because if you're true consciousness and you truly recognize that all is one, which most people don't, but if you truly recognize that, then you recognize that that's just the way it is, like, you know. Because if it's one consciousness, it's consciousness doing it to itself. There is no you, bro. We're attached to that you. That you, man. I want to see that you one day. Even though we're all called I am. But yeah, there is some you that you're defending. Fucking. And don't you find it strange that this you itself, the letter U, because English spellcraft, Y-O-U means nothing. It's you, the sound. And if you look at you, how it's written, especially written in English, right? It's two I's that just link together. So it's like, it's basically like, it's like a reflection of you. It's not really, it's a reflection of the I. It's not the I. You know, that's what you is. It's a reflection. It's not really real, and you're attached to it, thinking it's some real shit, bro. It's not. Let that glass break right now. You realize that you're literally just... Anyway. Yeah. You're way more powerful than you think, bro. I wish you... Look, the more you ascend, right? Okay, let me tell you something that's gonna happen. The more you ascend, the more you realize that you occupy a larger space than you always have ever in your life. You realize that you actually occupy a lot of space, a lot of it. And in fact, you start to realize that you are quite broad and quite big and quite powerful in your space. You notice it, bro. Because now you're not playing at the kiddie table anymore. You know, we're not believing a story and doing a stupid, goofy shit. Yeah, man. You know there's always love on this side, bruh. So this is another short visual to add on to the video. So we're going to go through a few options. My point is, what I contend is essentially once you become awake and you recognize who you are and become aware, after an awakening, you are a different person. So as far as I'm concerned, all your trauma, all those things that have happened, that all the stories you're attached to, you need to look at them as if they're memories. You've just inhabited a body that has memories within it. You don't need to act on them or believe them. You need to shed them and create a new world for yourself. And I'm going to go through a few examples so you see what I'm trying to say. So let's assume that consciousness is asleep. Yeah? We're in a dream state. We've said this before. Countless people that talk about consciousness will tell you this, from people in the East, whoever, they all talk about this, that it's possible that we're in another dimension and we're dreaming this reality, right? So our true nature is dreaming this reality. Now, when along the dream, some heartbreak happened, pain, something, traumatic experience. The word trauma itself, the root word of trauma is dream. So it's a dream experience, really, but that's another story for another day. But anyway, so you have your spiritual awakening. Something happens to trigger you, something supernatural, heartbreak, whatever it may be, a mystical experience that woke you up. Within your dream, to make you lucid, now you're lucid, your eyes are open. Latching onto this within the previous dream is madness. That means you are reverting back to the state of sleep, going back into the original dream. Yes, you are still in the dream, but you are lucid now. You can see. So why would you then tie yourself to this that happened in your very dream when you weren't lucid? Why would you be attached to it? So your awareness should be at a level where you realize that this is a dream. The whole experience is a dream, a game, a dream, an experience. So even being angry or having any animosity towards this, as painful as it may be, it's not congruent with your new state. Because if we know that the present moment is all there is, and people talk about this but they don't really understand it, because it's the present moment, the now, your current state of awareness, right? That's all there is. This happened not in this moment. It's not happening. It's something that you have inherited now that you are lucid. You need to let go of the story. Okay, let's assume that, some people prefer the Matrix story. So you're plugged into a computer, you're some sort of zombie, your brain has been hacked. Whether it's through programming, people believe all sorts of stuff. Whatever, something's hacking your brain, you're plugged into a machine, reality, whatever. Doesn't matter. As you're living your life, you're doing things get done to you, whatever. But all of this is happening here. All those things are happening here. It's not here, right? Let me stop this for a second and explain something. So you watch the Matrix movies, right? Before Neo got the red pill and woke up and went into the mirror and went into the real world, let's assume that his neighbor had set fire to his car or thrown acid at him and it burned his arm, and he really hated that guy and he always wanted to get back at that guy. Now that he is aware within the real world, he is aware that that didn't even happen to him. It was a story constructed and put in his brain by this. It didn't actually happen. Nothing actually happened here. Nothing happened to Neo. It all happened here. I keep saying nothing actually happened to you. Let go of your prisoners. It's a story you're attached to. Because all the abuse, trauma, all of that happened here. Not here. Yeah? But you believe that happened here, which is crazy. But at the same time, you believe in the Matrix thing and you're plugged in. It doesn't make sense. You need to kind of like realize what you believe and really like understand what you are and try and align it and see in you. And no matter how you cut the cake, you realize that attachment to the story is backward. So anyway, all that stuff, all the trauma is happening in here. It doesn't happen here, right? But let's assume that this matrix is some sophisticated one where you're walking around and you're physically experiencing your world, even though we know the truth, but whatever. But let's say it's all real and something actually happened to you. You experience the pain, all the rest of it happened, right? Okay, you go along and then you've had your awakening. Now you're aware that all is one. You're aware of consciousness. You're aware of what you are. You're aware of this. You're aware of what your true nature. You're aware that you're not this stick man, but you are this, your actual awareness. Now, everything that happened to you, everything you did, you need to drop. You need to drop all of these, because if you relive this, you've gone back into this. Even if you think about it and you think, oh, you know, you might think that, oh, it shaped me to become who I am. I'm gonna go one step further and tell you that, in fact, that is the config of the device. It's like the settings you chose on the character. You know, the character's got to have A, B, C, D, have this skin suit, blah, blah. That's the story that comes with the character. Consciousness is just experiencing the character at that stage, bro. So whether you believe the Matrix, whatever, you can't. If you believe in the Matrix, you will need to accept the reality that your traumas all happen here, not here, not to the physical body, which means that attachment to the story of trauma, pain, all those things, you know, pre your awakening, just that they belong here. They don't belong here. So you can't latch onto them. If you latch onto them, everything you did in this state, you are responsible for, which means that you will then come and re-experience this thing again, because you're not here, but here. Okay? Now, because this is not you. You know, pre-awakening, you will not claim that version of you as you, right? Because now that you're awake, you're different. This is you now. True or false? So this is you now, and this was not you. You were under programming. You were under illusion. You weren't yourself. You weren't consciousness. You were an animal. Yeah? You were consciousness living in an animal state, not recognizing who you were. Now you recognize. So why would you take any of the animal stories and bring them here? It's dumb. Now, let's assume that we even believe, you know, this is not real anyway, whatever, but let's make it easy. Let's say it's real. There's people that live on Earth. You live on Earth too, whatever. This person, so we just pick a random person. He goes through life, blah, 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 and he has an awakening, right? So before his awakening, this is his state of vibration, you know, very low. You know, he always knew something was up, but he wasn't vibrating here. He was here. So he goes through life, he has an awakening, his state of mind changes, right? Now, with that state of mind change, hold on one second. Yeah, with that change in his state of mind and he becomes aware after his awakening, his frequency changes. So now, he is not him anymore. He's now him at this frequency. Everything that transpired here, now with his new state of awareness, he recognized that this actually all is one. We're not this is a story he's been attached to, but truly he's just this thing, consciousness, experiencing life at this frequency. Anything that happened here that transpired in this merry-go-round story doesn't need to exist here, because now he's in a state of full awareness and can create whatever reality he wants. Doesn't even need to talk about it. He needs to let it go. Now, we can even go one step further and say, okay, and this is what I think truly happened. It's like a video game config, yeah? So before we set the characters are selected, I'm going to use the Earth example and this interchanging so you can see what I mean. So you are an animal. Yeah, your physical body is animalistic, born in an animal world, doing animal things being done to you. Yeah? Because it's a state of low vibration, low consciousness, right? Something happens and consciousness inhabits this body. Most people call it an awakening. Consciousness now turns this, now becomes this. You've almost been downloaded into an animal suit. Think of it like you've now inhabited a Street Fighter character, right? Now you're Ryu or Ken or Scorpion or whoever. You can't then embody Scorpion's backstory, and then they killed his wife, and then this happened to him. You can't play the game like that. You just are aware that that's the config of the character. You don't own it as a player, do you? Because your consciousness. That's how you need to look at everything that's happened to your character and the story that comes with your character. It's not real. It only exists in a construct. Okay, so when you're first born, that's the first coming of consciousness. When you become awakened and you inhabit your skin suit for the second time, that's your second coming. It's all to do with consciousness, guys. Nothing else. Yeah, man.